you going, guys? Steve here from Australian 4x4 Adventures, and today we're going to talk about how you can earn, that just fell down by the way, how you can earn some big bucks with your caravan that's sitting at home right now.
Love it. I love it.
Alrighty guys, so I put up on my Instagram page a couple of weeks ago about the fact that I'm renting out my caravan and earning some money from it. And there was an enormous response from people asking me, how are you doing it? What's involved? What's the logistics? The main question was all about the insurance. What happens with insurance? What happens if they stack it? You know, all the cool stuff in life. So I figured I'd actually make a video running through everything that I've gone through so far with the van, and hopefully maybe you guys might find it interesting and maybe do it yourself, maybe not. You never know. So I figured I'd try and give as much information as I can to see if it helps you. Okay, so there's going to be a multitude of questions as we go along here. I'm going to put the question up here as we go, and then I'm going to explain basically what the answer is. So, first things first, bookings. How do the bookings work? So essentially, as an owner, so someone who owns the van, there's an app for Camplify for the owners. There's not an app for the actual end user. I think it's only the website only. So it's all web-based, and then they put in all the details, book everything online that way. But as an owner, we get an app to use to sort of manage everything on our end. So someone's gone on the website, they've gone, cool, I want to go from here to here, I want this type of van. They put in all the criteria of what they're after. Search results will come up, and say my van comes up. Sexpander in Mount Evelyn, go pick it up. It's this much per night, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, cool, I want these dates. Yep, those dates are available. Click on it, done. I got a notification on my phone. So one in the app and a text message saying, new bookings just come in, blah, blah, blah. Cool. So for the end user, it's simple as to actually just find what you want, figure out where you want to go from there. On my end, I get pretty much control of everything because it's my van. I get to choose where it goes, who tows it, how long it goes for, how much it is, everything about it. So it's quite good as an owner to sort of control exactly what's going to happen in that sense. So booking wise, really easy to sort out for the end user, and it's all the information I need as the owner to decide whether I do or don't want to let that person have it. With my particular one, and a lot of people have it as well, as soon as they press submit and they book the van, it automatically sends them a list of questions that I want to know before I approve the booking or not. Essentially, on the app, there's an approve or decline section. So if I don't like the person, or if they smell or something weird like that, I can just go, yeah, nah, I don't agree with that one. I don't want to hire it out for you. You don't have to give a reason why, you just go decline. That's it. And they get a notification saying the booking's been declined, and they find something else. No other ramifications for you whatsoever. So for an example of my questions, mine are where's the van going to be going? Who's the nominated driver, and is it only that person? How much towing experience has that person had? What car are you towing with? I think that was about it. So they're the sort of the main questions I'm after. There's probably more, but I forget right now. But you can make up your own questions for whatever you want to know. So if you want to know, obviously their name, age, location, sex, preferences on whether they like pasta or rice more, probably irrelevant. But that's the sort of questions you can put in there if you really want to, because it's your van. You can ask whatever you want to the person who is hiring your van. Blocking out dates. So say I want to use my van for a long weekend. So I've got a trip planned for Melbourne Cup weekend this year coming, or this year, that I really want to take the van on. Most other trips, whatever, me and Toby will go into a swag. We're quite happy that way, no dramas at all. But the wife wants to come away on the November trip, so we're going to take the van. I want to keep it for me. There's an online calendar in the app as well, that basically I can nominate what days I don't want the van to be rented for. So I can go through there and go, cool, I want from this date here to this date here in November. It's no longer available because I'm going to take it for that particular weekend. So it's not possible for anyone to book it on that particular time. So it's, once again, good for me. How much can you hire the van out for? This is the $1 million question, really. As the van owner, I set the price. So I can say, well, for example, for day-to-day stuff, I've got $120 a night on my van to be rented out. It's slightly more on public holidays because it's taking that ability away from me to use it for then. So I'm going to charge a premium for it to go on public holidays. So I think it's about $130 or $140 a night for public holiday use. And that's from like a Thursday to the Tuesday, even though the public holiday might only be on the Friday and the Monday. So it's sort of covering that whole thing. Also with that, I've got a minimum rental period. So I've got a minimum of 3 days that it needs to be rented out for, to make me happy about it, because it's just sort of for the handover process and everything else that we've got to go through, which I'll go through soon. I want that minimum amount to make it worth my time to go through all that and then get it back, and the risk of renting it out as well. So I've got 3 day minimum hire is $120 a night, and more for public holidays and long weekend sort of setups. And you can choose whatever you want from that. Setting up an account in the first place is absolutely one of the easiest things I think I've done in a long time. So setting it up was all done on the website. Basically log in, create an account, upload some photos of the van. It's got templates of everything. So it runs you through all the steps that you need to. It's got a template and just says put your information here, blah, blah, blah. Modify the whole thing if you really want to, or just use their template. Super easy to do. Once that's submitted, as in done, you submit it off, goes to their administrative team, and they actually give you a call the very next day. I think it says within 48 hours. But for my sake, they gave me a call the next morning, said, "Hey, going, Steve? Yep, seen you done all your information, done a really good job. Is there anything else you need to know about the platform? Do you want us to explain about insurance? This, or this?" Ran through the entire thing with me again. If I wanted to, I only asked a couple of questions that I wasn't sure about. But the backup service and the initial setup was super simple and super informative. The fact that I know that there's someone in the office sitting there going, "Yep, cool, seen Steve's thing come through. Oh, he hasn't quite got this right. I'm going to give him a call and tell him that I don't think that's the best way to set up the ad. We'll do this for you there." So Camplify was super good to deal with in that sense. And it was only a quick 5-10 minute phone call on the setup thing on the next day. Does your van need to be brand new, or can it be an older one? I thought that was a pretty good question. Absolutely, it does not need to be a brand new van, it doesn't need to be a brand new van. So if you've got a 15, 20-year-old van, as long as it's still in good order, still safe to tows, everything still works in the van, and you're happy to let someone else use it, absolutely, send it out there, no dramas at all. It's up to the person who's hiring it to decide whether they want to have an older van or not. The older van may not attract as high a fee as what the newer vans will, because people generally want the newer ones, but it's still income right there. You might charge it out at $100 a night instead of $120. Better than nothing. What do you need to have inside the van or included with the van? So this can differ on every single booking if you wanted to, or it can differ just based on every single hirer of the van, so every owner. So with my particular one, I don't include bedding, so I don't have sleeping bags or doonas or pillows. I do provide mattress protector and a sheet. I'll go through soon how that works later on for cleaning and whatnot, but I include that. Stuff like the gas bottles, so perishable, usable items, you can either include that in the cost, or you can make that an addition to the cost. So you can say every booking that you do, I'm going to charge you an extra $10 as a fee, not a thing, a daily rate. It's just a one-off $10 booking for the entire time. That helps cover the cost of, say, the gas for the van. For me personally, I include the cost of the gas in the hiring fee, mainly because if someone runs out of gas and they go, "Oh, we're going to fill it up for you," I don't actually want them touching it, because they might not know how to use it properly, or they'll break it or do something else, and I don't want them fiddling with it. So I'm happy to cop that $30 once every 4 weeks worth of camping, because the only thing my van uses for gas is a gas cooktop. It's super efficient. It's going to last ages. And I've got 2 bottles on there. So I always tell them to use one until it's empty. As soon as that's empty, I know the other one's going to last them to get home. They tell me about it when it gets home. Oh, that gas bottle's empty. Cool. Still got a 90% full one there. Go take the empty one out, change it over, put it back in, and I've got a brand new one sitting there for the next person next time. But they'll still use that 90% one until that's empty, and then they'll start using the other one. So it's never going to happen where they've run out of both bottles at the one trip, unless they've got it for 3 months at a time. Other things that we include with the van, and this is completely optional per hirer as well. So we've got obviously all of the standard stuff in there. So plates, cups, cooking utensils, knives and forks, tea, coffee, Milo, the basics for the kitchen. I think it's a nice thing to do in the sense of, because a lot of people when they go camping, they'll take all their food, but they'll generally forget to pack the tea bags or the coffee or this or that. It's just easier. They don't have to do as much to it. As long as they clean it when they bring it back, I'm as happy as pie. And that's stipulated in what they have to do to bring it back. I thought this was a really interesting question. This is from Instagram. Should you blacklight the bed when it gets back? Absolutely not. You do not do that, because that's gross. You take those sheets off and you wash those. No. Does this count as an income? Yes. So because it is an income that you're getting in, you are going to have to pay some tax on it if that's the way that it's set up for you. Any sort of income should be attracting tax, and you're probably best to talk to your accountant to that side of it. As a business venture, well, it doesn't have to be business venture, this can be personal as well. It makes some stuff claimable for you as well. So if you can work out a percentage of how often it's hired out versus how much personal use you have, so say it's a 50-50 split between hiring it out and personal use, you can claim 50% of all the running costs of the van as well. So registration on the van, 50% can be claimed as an expense. 50, that means 50% of your perishable for your gases and everything else, that can be claimed as a deductible. Insurances, all that sort of stuff, you can claim 50% if that's the percentage that you work out. Best to talk to your accountant about that, because obviously that's it's a grey area in some circumstances. So, and I'm not an accountant, go talk to one. That's probably the best way of sorting that out. Insurance in big bold writing, because everyone asked about insurance and how it works. So there's 2 ways that Camplify set up the insurance for you. The way that I'm on is a free option to me up front. So I don't have to pay anything up front at all. It all comes out of the booking as the hiree makes the booking. So essentially I've got my $120 plus a service fee, go through soon. And I think they take out 11% or 12% of the total of the hiring fee, and that covers their profit that they're going to make. It also covers the insurance for that particular trip. So the insurance that's free up front to me is based on every trip that it goes out on. Camplify offer that, but it's also a maximum of 55 days a year. So they've capped it on a certain time frame per year. So you can't rent it out the entire year based on that free aspect of it. They have with that insurance doesn't cover my trips though. So I still need to have my personal insurance, which is only a couple $100 a year. I think it's $350 or something. Maybe more. I can't remember now. But my personal insurance on the van. So when I take it out, I've got my own insurance that I've already purchased when I bought the van anyway. That covers me for my stuff. Camplify also offer a fully comprehensive one that covers both me personally and the hirees on every single trip, and there's unlimited amounts of hiring. Downside to that is I priced it up for my van. I based it on a $60,000 van, pretty much what it is, just under. It was going to cost me around about, I think it was $1,800 a year in total. It was a one-off upfront fee, $1,800, covers my insurance, covers their insurance for an unlimited hire, and they take less of a percentage of every hire. So instead of being at 12%, I think it drops down to 7%. So there's it's not massive, but you will save it if you're getting the higher the rentals consistently and you're actually getting it out the door more. I wanted to try it on the free option first because I don't know how often I'm going to hire it out. If it's going to be popular, might be good, might be bad, don't know. I think the free option is a good way to start off with, and then if it's successful and I want to keep doing it, I might look at doing the paid option down the track. Don't know yet. I really hope I don't have to go through this one. Like, really hope. Making a claim. So what happens if the hiree stacks the van in an accident, writes it off, or even just minor damage of a roo hits it, takes out the front end of it, or something like that where it's repairable, but it's not $100 fix. Like, we're talking thousands of dollars here. So Camplify obviously have this sorted out as well. So as the hiree, so the person hiring it, I'm getting that so confused in my head right now. As the person hiring it, they pay a bond to Camplify. Depending on the level of experience that they've got, how many times they've hired before, that bond will go up and down for them. I think they've got like a bronze to a gold system, so the more you hire, you're on a gold, so your bond might only be $500, when if you start out with, I think it might be a $1,500 bond. It all comes down to how often and your experience with towing. I don't know, I've only ever done it once before in that side of it, but that's something for the hiree to look at. Hirer to look at. Hirer. Yeah, I'm getting it backwards. So that's sort of in that sense there. So if they were to have an accident, they don't contact me. They contact Camplify direct. Camplify sort out the claim. They sort out what's happened. They sort out all of the incidents that need to be sorted out with. They get photos from the person who's hired it. They explain all the situation to them and say, all right, cool, you've had an accident. Your excess that we agreed to when you hired the van, when you paid your bond, was this much, say $750. So out of your $1,500 bond you paid, we're going to give you $750 back. The other $750 goes towards the excess for the owner. So essentially, they're paying for the excess for any damage that happens to the van. So if they damage it, it all gets fixed free of cost for me. Downside is obviously I lose the van for that period of time that I'm waiting for it to get fixed. So that's loss of income if it's a full-time thing. It also means that I don't get the van for my own personal use if I planned on using it as well. Having said that, if it's a full write-off, obviously you're just going to get a payout. Whatever your insured value was, cool, you insured your van for $67,000. There's a check for $67,000. You might have to wait another 18 months to get your van, a new one, but you get a new one. So it's all covered through Camplify, and that's what that fee that they take out is designed to do. Can the owner charge extra fees themselves? Absolutely. So because I set all the rules, I get to charge whatever I want. So with every hire of mine, I've got a one-off, so it doesn't matter whether it's a 1 day or minimum 3 day or a 6-week trip. I've got a $50 fee on every single booking that basically goes towards servicing the van, refilling the gas bottles, all that extra stuff that's sort of involved with owning a van helps cover those costs. So on top of the $120 a night, there's a one-off $50 fee that goes on every single booking that helps cover servicing it. So wheels and so replacing tyres, service, insurance, all the other stuff that sort of goes with owning it. That's what that fee's for. You can make that a $120 fee or a $500 fee or a $2 fee, no fee. It all comes down to you have to think about you're essentially selling your van to be hired. If you make it too expensive, it's just not going to get hired. So it's got to be reasonable on both fronts. One, that you're happy, one that the person is hiring it is happy. Yep. Handover and how it's meant to come back. So this can be different for every person. So if you get someone that comes along that's had plenty of vans, they've done it plenty of times before, they hire the same van every single year, probably don't have to be as thorough every time you hire the van out. Probably best to be, but it's your discretion on how much detail you want to go through with each individual person who's hiring it. I always tell the person when they're turning up to allow about an hour, because I want to run through the entire van from top to toe and explain how everything works so they know exactly how to operate it without breaking anything. So I basically pull the van out, I have it all packed away, I set the whole thing up with them, show them through everything, and then pack it back down with them as well. So they get to physically see it and do it. So there's no misunderstandings about how I expect things to be done to prevent damage, to make sure that it comes back to me not broken. From there as well, it needs to be a clear expectation about what you expect the van to come back like. So if you don't want it to be washed because you're worried they're going to scratch it, then tell them that. Look, no, don't bring it back. I'm going to wash it myself. Going back to the fee side of it, there is a fee in there. So if, say, you expect them to bring it back washed and clean and ready basically for the next person to come back out, if they bring it back and it's filthy and it's muddy and they haven't cleaned it inside, you can stipulate a fee before it even goes out within the app, saying if it comes back dirty and I've got to clean it, it is $150 for me to clean it. If you don't empty the toilet, it's $100 for me to clean it. All those little extra things that you can put in as a safety net for yourself, so it's all laid out before they even hire the van, so they know about it. It's all a safety net for the owner, not necessarily the actual person hiring it. The app at handover. So the app is actually really good for the handover process. It makes you take photos of the van. So essentially it's rolled out. In my case, I can't take photos in the carport, so I roll it outside. It makes you take at least 6 photos of the exterior of the van and at least 6 photos of the interior of the van. So that's trying to get you to take a photo of every corner, every flat surface, working your way around the van. So there's evidence before it goes out that there's either damage already there or there's no damage at all. So that way there's no discrepancy between what you think versus what the hiree, the person who's hiring it, bloody hell, I need to learn that. The person who's hiring it brings it back and they go, oh, that was already there when it left. You've got photos. Those photos have automatically been uploaded to Camplify, so they've got a copy of the photos as well, so I can't doctor them. And that takes out the discrepancy of it all. Because if they bring it back and go, it was there, and I disagree, I just go on to Camplify app and go, came back damaged. Camplify sorted out. I don't have to deal with the person who hired it. I don't have to argue with them. I have to do anything with them. Camplify's got all the information already. I just say to them, yeah, nah, he's damaged that. And then they sort it out. It might not go in my favour in the sense if I'm lying, of course, they've got photos going, mate, that corner was already stoved in. What are you doing, you tosser? Nah, mate, nah. So there's a safety net in that aspect there. Not only does it make you upload the photos, but it's got a checklist of everything on there as well. So you can go through, all right, cool, gives you a checklist of everything that's included in the van. All right, I've got plates and cups, tick. I've got a fire extinguisher, tick. I've got toilet in there, it's done, tick. No, I don't have this, so you don't tick them. Yep, you go through and you tick everything that's in the van. So it gives you an itemization list of what's in the van. So that way when it comes back, you can check it. Yep, cool, happy with the van, done, signed off, no dramas. That's the handover process. Obviously, it makes you take a photo of their license as well because they have to submit a photo of their license and their license number. When they hire the van, you take a photo of it, that gets uploaded to Camplify. You confirm that their license number matches what they've already put in the details, so make sure it is the person picking up the van that's hired it. I actually can't find a fault with Camplify right now. I'm really trying here. So far, I'm super impressed with how Camplify set this up. It's well organised, it's well done. Pretty happy. I'm going to keep using it. It's good. Earnings. How much can you earn by hiring out your van? It's kind of an endless question, really, because it comes down to how much you hire it out for per night and how often you hire it out. As an example, I hired mine out for a total of 12 days over the Easter break between 3 different bookings. I earned nearly $1,800 in those 12 days because it was a higher rate over Easter, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, it's not going to get hired out all the time. It's back at the moment, and I've got no more bookings at the moment. So I don't know when it's going to go out next. It's probably going to be maybe Queen's birthday or grand final weekend. It might just be public holidays, or I might get a booking tonight saying someone wants it for 6 weeks. I don't know because hasn't come in yet. But the earning possibilities are almost endless based on what you're hiring it out for. Obviously, if you've got a higher price in there, you might not hire it out as much, but you'll get more money for it per hire. If you're nice and cheap, you'll hire it out more, but you're going to have to hire it out more to earn the same amount. Horses for courses, really. Up to you and what you want to do with it. Rightio, guys. So that is everything for the questions that I got from Instagram anyway, and hopefully I've run through everything in enough detail for you that you understand how you can hire out your van if you want to earn some money out of it. It's better off having someone else pay off your van than trying to pay it off yourself. That's the way I figure it anyway. I know there's a couple of my mates have actually said, "Oh, I'd never hire out mine, no way." No, I'm honestly not that precious about it. It's a van. If it gets damaged, we'll fix it. So what? I'm capable of fixing most things myself, so I probably will just fix it myself if it's a joinery issue or something inside. So that doesn't bother me. If you're super precious about it, probably best that you don't look at this at all, and you probably aren't watching this video if you're not even considering about hiring out your van. But if you're watching this video, you're probably already thinking about hiring it out. So hopefully this answers some of the questions for you, and give it a go. See how you go with it. You might love it, you might hate it. Don't know. I have to admit, I was a little bit nervous the first couple of times it went out. Yeah, I'm good with it now. Whatever, real good. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next week.